Hi, so welcome to this talk on the UX of charts. It's a topic that's really close to my heart because it marries two things that I care deeply about, all things UX and product on one side, and all things charts and dataviz on the other side. Right? So let me introduce myself. My name is Vikram Nayak. I'm the founder of this company called ChartBoss, and I founded ChartBoss to help professionals reduce their anxiety and stress around data visualization so that they can communicate their data insights more effectively and easily, and so that there's no wastage in the analytics in the enterprise, right? A little bit, and I think visually, I communicate visually, so you're going to see that next. A little bit about myself. I've been an entrepreneur since 2010, and my focus has been on analytics, tech, and communication. And communication might seem like a weird thing there, but that's only because I used to host the spelling bee on TV for 10 years, so that's where the communication piece comes from. And I did a lot of this through consulting, training, and products, right? Yeah, so that's about me. So in the next 14 minutes, hopefully, we're going to see how UX and data products and data viz all kind of work together. We're going to see this user framework that I can't say I built the user framework. It's based on everyone else's research. It's just a way of thinking about data visualization. And finally, we're going to see an example, and we'll be open to some Q&A at the end, right? Okay, so first thought, the UX of charts, really? There's a simple test for this. Is it for yourself? If the answer is yes, good news, you don't need UX, right? But if it's for anybody else but yourself, I'm sorry, but you do need UX. And even when it comes to UX, regular UX and data UX are different, right? So what I'm going to do is, let's map out how regular UX works, and then let's see how data UX is a little different, right? So in our regular UX, we have this user, right? This user comes with their own personality and context and experiences, and they have goals, right? The goals could be something like, I want to pay a bill or watch a movie or order food. And this knowledge that we have about the user and about their goals constitutes our user research, right? And UX design is the process of taking this user research and converting it into a user experience in the form of a product, right? Now, this product could be a web, mobile, physical product, anything, doesn't matter. Now, the user is going to use this product to achieve their goals. Straightforward, right? So that's how regular UX would work. Like, I'd use the product, which is like a UPI app. I would achieve my goal, which is I want to pay for this item that I just bought. Straightforward. But how's data UX different? Is it different? I'd argue that it is, right? So let's take the same picture that we just built and let's change it up a bit, right? So I'm going to take some elements out. So first, let's say we now have a business user, right? Because I tend to focus more on business scenarios. And this business user has business goals, right? And these business goals could be something like, I want to increase sales, or I want to reduce churn, or I want to increase my customer satisfaction, right? And this now is our user research. And again, we're using specialized expertise in UX design to convert this into a data product, right? Not just a regular type, it's a specific type of product. And this could be in the form of reports, dashboards, presentations, whatever, right? Now you might assume that the user can use this data product and achieve their goals, but that's not how it works. All the user can do is use this product to improve the decision or action they're going to take, which then helps them achieve their goals, right? So data products are different in this sense that there's like 1 degree of separation away from the business goal, right? And all we can hope to do is to inform or influence. We can't force anybody to take a particular decision. Another thing is that decisions are multi-factor. There are so many considerations. So all we can do is drive understanding, and hopefully that drives better decisions and better actions, which eventually lead to better outcomes. So the way I would think about it is, what do I need to know to do what I have to do so that I can achieve my goals. So that's kind of where data products sit, right? So let's zoom in on this data product part a little bit. If you look at the anatomy of a data product, the thing that's visible to everybody is there's reports, dashboards, presentations. It could be SaaS software, it could be anything. So that's at level 1, right? Level 2 is you have all these components that make up a data product. It could be a charts, tables, KPI cards, even text and images, right? And then right at the bottom, you have your data and your data models, ML models, statistical models. And so this is how the stack kind of sits. And at each level there, you have frameworks for design, right? You have a framework to design dashboards, you have a framework to design presentations. And then when you go lower, you have frameworks to design charts, and we'll be talking about one of those today, right? So when it comes to level 1 frameworks, 2 of the famous ones you might have heard of, Barbara Minto's pyramid principle. You might have heard of the story arc. Then a couple of other principles that I just kind of put together just so that I had a way to think about it. One was the 6-factor framework and also CSPA. So at level 2, what are the kind of frameworks that we have? We have the user framework for data visualization. That's what we're going to talk about today, right? So the point here is I needed a way for myself to think about where do charts sit in this overall bigger picture, right? And this presentation was basically a way to deconstruct it for myself. So we're now going to explore this user framework for dataviz, and simple, like I can assure you that it was not concocted this way, it just happened to organically come around this way, like when I organize the different things together. So the U stands for understand, right? That is at the heart of any UX process. You need to understand. What do we understand? We'll get into next. Next is select. E stands for enhance, and R stands for relate, right? So understand, select, enhance, relate. And the reason this came about this particular way was, I asked myself this question: can we somehow come up with a process that even non-technical users can follow step by step to build professional quality charts, right? So this is that process. Now, when it comes to, let's go one level deeper. So in the understand phase, what do you want to understand? We spoke about business user, business goals, right? So you want to understand the audience, right? Who are they? What's their context? What are their experiences? What's their data literacy? What are they familiar with? Next, you want to understand what are the goals they want to achieve, right? Then you want to understand what are you trying to communicate? That is, what do they need to know so that they can achieve their goals? And finally, you need to marry that with what is the data you have on hand. There are lots of things we might want to do, but if the data does not exist, then we have limitations. So this is the U part, understand. Next comes the S part, select, right? So you have a lot of chart choosers that you'd see floating around the internet, and they're all good. So it depends on you, like which one you want to use. But when it comes to selecting charts, you need to understand what is the message you are trying to convey, what is the kind of comparison you want to enable, what do you want the user to take out of it, what is the best visual cue that will enable that insight, right? And that is how you would select a chart. Next is the enhance part. And here you will see a lot of things that a lot of the experts earlier today spoke about, right? The first thing is to reduce clutter. And there you see the Gestalt principles as one of the tools in your toolkit, right? Next, you want to create a clear visual hierarchy. What that means is you don't want everything screaming for your attention at the same time. You want things to come to you in a particular order, and that's what we call a hierarchy, right? Okay. Next, we have beautify, which is use text, white space, and alignment really well, right? And finally, we have the relate part, which is we might be very familiar with the data, but is the user familiar? So add contextual elements, add good titles, add good subtitles, add annotations, add callouts, add reference lines, right? So this 4-step process helps you audit as well as create any chart and make it a little better. So let's see it with an example. By the way, this is a shameless plug. This is a screen grab from the ChartBoss, and we have a chart chooser implemented. And basically, it comes down to a bunch of use cases, right? What are you trying to communicate? What's your use case? And for that use case, you will see the right chart. So I'll give you this example. It looks very dense, right? This is a page from Grant Thornton's Deal Tracker report, which they publish every month. It's actually a very good, useful, informative report, but there are some visuals that could be improved. So the one we'll focus on is the one on the bottom right? It's a donut chart. Now, a lot has been said about donuts and pies, but let's get into why this might not be the right choice, right? So this is the particular makeover candidate. Now, let's audit it with the user framework, right? So the first thing was that's understand. So who is this report for? This report is for finance industry professionals, that is PE, VC, investment banking, right? And the goal is to stay in touch with the latest activity in their industry. And the question they want to answer is, which sectors saw the most deals last month, right? So we have our U part. Next is the S part, select. Now we need to evaluate, is the donut chart the right chart to communicate that insight, right? I would argue not. Now, donut chart, is it used to communicate parts of a whole? Yes, it can be. But it's used to communicate parts of a whole when the focus is only on one of the parts. If you want to compare the contribution of each part to the whole, the donut chart is not the right option. Okay? Separate matter that the hole in the middle is too big. So, third, let's get to the enhance part, right? Clutter. Do you see a lot of clutter in there? You do, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that don't belong there. Color. Color is not very well used, right? So one is you see this loud black text which has your data labels. Second is you see a lot of connecting lines which are clutter, which we could have done away with the Gestalt principle of proximity. We have a color scheme which is completely wrong. It's a diverging color scheme, typically used when you have negative, positive, and a middle value, right? And even worse, it's that the biggest pie, the biggest slice has got gray, which is the middle value, right? So this is the enhance part. And then relate is, you want to provide context, enable comparisons, and describe in words. So one of the things we'd want to do is, whenever you have these circular charts, always start it arranged in descending order and always start it at 12 o'clock, right? So that people know where to read from. And another thing is this others segment over there, which is actually a rolled up segment, which is like composed of many other segments, but it's not mentioned anywhere. So now let's evaluate alternative chart options, and this is where we need to go a little finer, right? It's not just parts of a whole, it's what exactly do you want to communicate? Like a better donut chart, it's better than the previous one, but it still has the same problem. I would have needed to highlight one particular segment. Single stacked bar would have been great if there were subtotals involved, but there's no subtotals. 100% total bar would have been good if you want to compare each bar to each other. But what we'll go with is the pie. Least expected answer, but if you see a well-made pie, it actually communicates the percentage contribution of each of these sectors to the whole, right? With a clear title and a clear subtitle and an asterisk at the bottom saying others contains multiple small sectors combined. So this is an old versus new. And so again, what is U? S? E? R? Perfect. So that's the user framework. And what about the other frameworks that I mentioned? You can follow us and they'll come soon. You can get the slides at chartboss.ai/VizChitra. And you can follow me on LinkedIn as well as reach out and Vikram at chartboss.ai. Cool. Thank you so much.